Football Manager 2024 is out right now. The database is locked in, and that means, my friends, I am ready to look at my top 10 free agents to pick up this year in game. When you're working on a budget, you've got no transfer budget, these might be players to turn to. Let me know what you think of this list. Any that I've missed, leave them down below. Let's get straight into things. You might be surprised to see him this far down in this video, but in at number 10, we have Jesse Lingard, 30 years old, former England international, of course, last year was playing for Nottingham Forest and still finds himself without a club. In Football Manager, he is a phenomenal talent, a really versatile option, maybe doesn't have the craziest physicals, but his injury history isn't too troubling, which might be an issue for some of the players on this list. But at 30 years old, with good natural fitness, he has a few years left in him. Why is he this low down in this list? His wage demands are absolutely outrageous. There's a reason he's not got a club in real life. Football Manager really does reflect that. I promise not all the players on this list are particularly old, but I had to include Felipe Caicedo. This guy at 34 years old still has a lot to offer. The Ecuador international has some crazy mentals, some really solid physicals for his age, and whilst at 34, they're probably not going to hold up for ages. If you need a one-season striking wonder, I want to say this guy could be the bloke for you. I'll be honest, his goal-scoring record across his career doesn't look the most ferocious, but let me tell you, in Football Manager, the man will score goals for you. On top of that, he's got professional personality with 16 determination, so if you've not got any super senior players, but you want to do some mentoring on some young strikers, Felipe would be very, very good for that. Up next, we've got Costa, who may be a familiar face to some football fans across England. He was playing in Saudi Arabia last year. Of course, in the past has played for Wolves, for Leeds, for Valencia. I mean, actually, if we just go to his history screen, you can see the teams he's played for here. A player who once upon a time transferred for £16 million and yet finds himself without a club in Football Manager. He's 29 years old. He has some reasonably good attributes. Not the best mentals by any means, but if you're looking for a pacey winger that can provide a bit of creativity, he could be the man for you. Couple of downsides to be aware of, though. His injury history isn't exactly clean. Yeah, a few major injuries sitting here, and because he is declared for the Angola national team, should they progress to AFCON, you may lose him during the football season if you're managing in Europe. In spite of that, though, if you're looking for a pacey player who can play on the left and right hand side of the pitch, I don't think you can really go wrong with this guy for a free transfer. Okay, look, we've had a few expensive options. Let's go for a more affordable player. A player who will have wage demands around £8,000 from my own experience. Kamar Lawrence. This guy has 77 caps for Jamaica, has spent the bulk of his career playing in Jamaica and North America. Did have a brief stint with Anderlecht, but didn't really work out for him. He was playing for Minnesota last year. He now finds himself as a free agent in Football Manager. He can play at left back, and fullbacks can be difficult to get. He's got great stamina. He's got a good work rate. I mean, you can see here. As far as attacking fullbacks go, he is not a bad option by any means. Wage demands are beyond reasonable. Only downsides with him really are that he is 30 years old, he isn't the craziest player, and the versatility might not be there if you're looking for more of a depth squad option, given the fact he can only play left back. Up next, we've got Ziyech, very, very good player, this guy, 28 years old, crazy mentals, reasonably good physicals as well. He is a jack of all trades in the centre of midfield. Last year was playing for Rennes, has had a couple of minor injuries, but not in recent years. Should be available for a reasonable fee. The reason he's not higher in this list is because when you start your save game, all the teams in Saudi Arabia and the UAE want him. So there might be a bit of competition to secure his signature, but if you can get it, he is a very, very good player. There are not many free agents centre mids that are, well, pretty much ideal playmakers as good as this guy. 15 passing, 15 vision. Like I said, he is a jack of all trades, master of some. At the end of the day, if you're looking for a free agent player who ain't going to cost you a pretty penny, can contribute in the centre of the park, could be a good player to pick up. You were probably wondering when this guy was going to feature in this list. De Gea, of course he was going to be in this list somewhere. This guy's the best free agent in terms of current ability available at the start of Football Manager this year. At 32 years old, he's got great aerial reach, great handling. I mean, look, it's De Gea. Talk that he may retire in real life. I hope he doesn't, because I think he's got plenty to offer. Of course, did not miss any matches for Manchester United over the previous 2 years. And in terms of goalkeeping options, he's very, very good. You will have competition to sign his signature. He isn't going to have the cheapest wage demands in the world, but if you're going to a club that has no transfer budget and you need a goalie option, I don't think there's a better option out there than De Gea. You are going to have that competition, like I said, but if you do secure his signing, You're just not going to regret it, are you? 4 players left in this countdown. The next is the youngest of the bunch, Vasco Val. This guy, formerly of Dortmund, was playing for their youth academy last year. He is 18 years old and available as a free agent. You have to snap him up quickly, though. Otherwise, I guarantee you another Bundesliga team will sign him. This guy was only added to Football Manager last year. In spite of that, he is a really, really well-rounded player who can play in the centre of the midfield or at right or left mid. He has a variable potential ability between 110 and 140. As a rough approximation, that's around lower-end Premier League, higher-end Championship quality. But for an 18-year-old you're picking up on a free, you can't really go wrong. There's a lot of older players in this list. If you want to pick up someone that you might be able to sell on for a pretty penny down the line, this bloke could be the guy for you. His wage demands are beyond reasonable as well, so you can snap him up at a variety of clubs. Like I said, the only downside is you got to move in for him fast. Okay, 3 players left in this list. The first, Peter Atebo. This guy, formerly of Stoke City. Yes, Stoke City represent. This guy, a really, really good defensive mid option with some crazy physicals, some really well-rounded mentals, and to be fair, his technicals are not that bad either. Did have a major injury a couple of years ago that has set him back somewhat. Of course, was signed, as you can see, by Stoke for £6 million. Spent last year on loan at Aris in the Greek Super League. His current ability is great. If you're looking for a terrier in the midfield, I feel like you can go a lot further wrong. If Nigeria make it to AFCON, there's a chance he'll get called up to the national team given the fact he's got 44 caps, so you might see him missing during the year. In spite of that, though, he is an extremely well-rounded player with not too many gaps in his game, and with that in mind, and the fee you'll have to pay, which is nothing and cheap wages, he's in this countdown at number 3. Okay, 2 players left in this countdown, getting the silver medal, Toure. I had no idea this guy was a free agent. If you recognise him, used to play for Monaco, play for Eintracht Frankfurt the last couple of years. He is now a free agent. The reason he's a free agent, I think, might be obvious by his injury history. He's had a few injuries in recent years. In spite of that, though, he is a very, very good centre-back option who could equally double up as a good, more defensively minded fullback out on the right-hand side. His versatility is really nice, but he's not too shabby going forward either. In terms of career appearances, it's not like he's not been playing football over the last few years. He's just struggled to get minutes together. But if he stays fit, he would be an absolutely incredible pickup. I think a lot of these players that you're going to look to sign, especially if you're at maybe a Premier League club, they're not going to come in and be regular starters. I feel like this guy might be one of the exceptions. Certainly as an immediate backup on off the bench, you could do a lot worse than him. Similar to Atebo, really well-rounded mentals, really well-rounded physicals, solid option. Not too many great centre-backs out there. Toure is one of the better ones. Okay, in at number 1, I've decided to go with Tanguy Coulibaly, although to be fair, the top 4 or 5 were very, very closely matched. This guy here is incredible. He can play out on the left, he can play out on the right. Formerly a PSG and Stuttgart. Of course, if you played for PSG, you probably have some potential, and this guy has some potential that is unfulfilled. At 22 years old, he's got loads and loads of years left ahead of him to still fulfill that. Really, really good physicals. His natural pace is there. He can do a lot for you out in those wider areas. He can play a whole host of positions. If you're short of a striking option, I feel like you could probably train him to be a beyond solid advanced forward. Whilst he might not be the best player in terms of current ability, in terms of potential longevity, resale value, and just what he can offer off the bat, I feel like Coulibaly is the best. A great player. Try and get his career back on track. If you can keep him fit, you will be able to make some money off him and, well, hopefully get some really good performances too. Anyway, folks, that is going to wrap up this countdown from me today. If you would like to see a top 10 free agents for non-league clubs, maybe we can do that. If this video hits 1,000 likes, hopefully you enjoyed this one. Let me know of these players, if any of them you managed to pick up and how they do for you. On top of that, if there's bargains out there that I've not included in this video, let me know who they are down in the comments. Besides that, take things easy. Check out my other top 5 videos. There'll be a little linky thing in the top corner right here. Subscribe if you're new. And until next time, it's me, Jack. I'll talk to you in a bit. I'm out.